Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the Manny Diaz Show. Joe Zagacki with my broadcast partner, Don Bailey Jr. and University of Miami head coach Manny Diaz. Canes have Pittsburgh this week at Heinz Field, 12 o'clock kickoff. Pitt leading the Coastal Division, and should be a good one. But Miami coming off a great win, 31-30, coach, against North Carolina State. Two players recognized for the win, Tyler Van Dyke and Jalen Knighton, but a much-deserved and hard-earned victory.
It was a tough game, which we knew it would be. NC State's got a really, really good football team. No one had scored 30 points on that defense this year. Not many people had even come close. And you mentioned Tyler and Jalen, well-deserved of their plaudits. And boy, did we need it. You know, we needed a big-time performance from Tyler, made some crucial plays on third down, and then Jalen has just continued where he left off last week in Chapel Hill. Big-time runs, big-time threat out of the backfield as well.
Coach, let's go to it as well. Charleston Rambo, again and again and again, just keeps coming up with play after play, and it's got to help the confidence of your quarterback as well.
It does, to have a guy like that, and I would think that Rambo has asserted himself as one of the top receivers in our conference now. He really is, playing at such a high level, and him and Tyler have a really good chemistry. You can start to see that develop, and that's going to, at some point, that's going to help to dictate coverages. I mean, people are going to try to take him away. If that happens, now that's going to put other guys. I mean, we really feel like we've got some different guys that can hurt you, but if you don't have a plan for him, he's going to do some damage.
Can we talk about the way you started the game? A great 3-and-out on defense, and then a big third down conversion on offense. That's a whole sidebar story. But 11 of the first 12 plays were pass plays, so very aggressive mindset by you and your staff.
Yeah, we wanted to come out and be aggressive. Some of those might have been RPOs where they were called runs that turned into passes. But as you mentioned, I think it starts with a great 3-and-out by the defense. First time they ran the football, it was tackle for loss. Great swarming effort, forcing the punt. And as you mentioned, we started fast, but you have to rewind it. We had a 3rd and 10 on the first sequence against the nation's #1 third down defense. And they brought a blitz. They played cover 1, which is man-to-man with a safety in the middle of the field. And Tyler threw a great ball to Harley. Harley made a really, really good catch on the sideline, and that was actually just about the last time they played that coverage. And that got everything going. So it was a big-time throw. Tyler, he'd kind of put the spotlight on himself, and they were going to try to heat him up early on, maybe teach him a lesson, and he ended up teaching them one.
Hey, Manny, the victory made it so nice for everybody, for the university, for the program, for you, the kids, everybody, the locker room. But during that football game, one of the guys that I was most happy for was Will Mallory. I mean, he made crucial catches and looked himself.
You said it, he looked like himself, and Will's been through some ups and downs, and it's not easy.
No.
These are human beings out there under those uniforms, and no one wants to play and perform like Will Mallory does. He puts himself in such high standards and holds himself under such scrutiny. And look, if you play the game, you're going to make a mistake sometimes. It's going to happen, and you got to forgive yourself. You got to let it go. And I think Will's done the hard work, not just physically but mentally. That's a big part of the game as well. And he looked fresh, he looked free, and he just looked confident out there and made some big plays.
How about the play of Tyler Van Dyke? A lot of his throws were just beautiful throws. We mentioned the one to Rambo, he had touchdown to Rambo, the 4th down play. But his overall poise and confidence, what are you seeing in his progression now as your starting quarterback?
Yeah, you have to remind yourself that the guy's a rookie. I mean, he just doesn't play like that. And you mentioned the reads. Very rarely goes to the wrong place with the ball. His accuracy was really good. And threw the deep ball very, very well, and that's such a weapon for us, I mean, another play that stands out is the first play of the third quarter, so they kind of get us on a sucker punch going into halftime, take momentum back, and in one play we grabbed it right back. It's Rambo on a deep post and hit him right on stride. So, those type plays make us a threat, and his confidence, what he told himself, being critical of himself after North Carolina, trust yourself, let it rip. He started that from the beginning, and I thought you saw a complete performance.
Manny, when he says trust himself, meaning trust Van Dyke, he's also trusting that offensive line. He's trusting the receivers. And I really believe that I felt his confidence while we were calling the game, that he'd get through any circumstance he was able to get through, and there was no hesitation.
Yeah, you can see that. And I think some of the credit's got to go to Rhett Lashley as well. I mean, you got to remember about Tyler. Tyler was splitting reps with Jake. You've got De'Aaron as a starter, so you're not even getting all the 2 reps because we wanted to keep that Tyler-Jake battle going. So it wasn't really until Central Connecticut week that Tyler and Jake started splitting all the reps.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler didn't really start getting the lion's shares of reps in practice until the Virginia prep. So you're talking about 3 games, 3 weeks. So the way he's grown since then, and the way that Red has really done a great job of bringing him along and not giving him more than he can handle, I think has been a big key to our success.
You showed a lot of confidence in your defense and your offense. 4th and 3, was it 4th and 3? 4th and short from the 47-yard line early in the game, and then a beautiful call, the wheel route to Knighton for the touchdown.
Yeah, it was a 4th and 1, and we had a 3rd and long, and Tyler threw a really nice ball to Keyshawn. We just got stopped a little bit short, and we felt like we had a play. They're on 4th and 1. A lot of people try to run it, try to get a yard, and they were going to sort of sell the farm and bring everybody up and try to blitz us out of the ability to run the football. And we had a play that might have had a chance to pop Jalen out of there, and we went with it. And the reason why really is because NC State's hard to score on. So if you feel like you've got one that might be a shot that you might have, it's kind of like doubling down in blackjack. And we kind of think, hey, the odds, may be in our favor. We've got a face card and the dealer's got a 6. Let's go ahead and double down on this. And that's exactly what we did. And the result was a touchdown.
Coach, share with us as much as you can. This is maybe should be for the breakdown segment, but in situations where you're going to go for it on third down or 4th down or a crucial situation, how long do you give yourself to make that decision, and where does the information come from?
Very often, Rhett and I have talked about that even before it's 3rd down call. Mm-hmm. Because play sequencing has become a big thing now in football, NFL, and college level. You may have a 3rd down and 12, and if you know that you're going to go for it on 4th and 4, you may throw it short of the sticks, and that really makes it hard to defend defensively. Because obviously I can think of the game through both sides. Sure. Because you may think 3rd and 12, hey, let's just play coverage. They throw it short, tackle it. Normally that's a good down. You run off the field on defense, but now, hey, they made it 4th and 5. That's a go if the ball is at your 35-yard line, let's say. So that's really changed. It's hard to stop people. Hard enough to stop people in college ball now if they got 3 downs to get 10. If they got 4 to get 10, it becomes really hard. So we communicate. We use analytics. We've got a book that's got every situation, every yard line the ball can be on, and what it recommends. We don't 100% always follow the data on the analytics, but it gives you a guidepost. To me, and that's why I always say it's like being at the blackjack table where you know what the odds are, mm-hmm. You know what the proper play is. That doesn't mean the proper play is always going to get the proper result, but like going back to playing cards, you make the best information based off the odds, and trying to minimize the risk and maximize our potential to have something.
But there's still instinct, right? I mean, you still have a feel and a flow of the game.
And that's an example of what we talk about. It wasn't just going for it on 4th and 1 at the 47. It was they are going to probably run 0 pressure, bring the house, and if they do, it's going to be very, very hard for them to cover Jalen on a wheel, the way that we structure up the formation. So, and we can actually, that is part of our breakdown today, so we can unpack that more. But that's one of those ones where it may have been beyond just a 4th and 1 strategy. It was really the situation beyond that.
They had North Carolina State came into the game, very good running football team, big left tackle, really run well to the left side. Person and Knight, 2 really good running backs. You held them to about 3.3 yards per carry. So the run defense really had a big impact on the game. I
think that was the key to the game for our performance defensively. They, as you mentioned, they had run the ball well. They had games where both backs had over 100 yards rushing. The one game that they had lost, they did not run the ball well, and that was at Mississippi State. And if you remove the fake punt, which really wasn't against our defense, they only ran for 70 yards total. And so I thought that was crucial. The quarterback, he threw for more than he wanted, but he threw for 300 on Mississippi State, and they beat him as well there. So we kind of felt that would be the framework towards victory, and it turned out to be true.
Coach, a young man that, we talk James Williams, but we got to start saying Cam Kitchens. He just shows up, and I mean that's a term in this sport, but it really means a lot. You can have everything you want, but if you're showing up, that's the guy that you got to get on the field.
He does show up, and he has shown up since scrimmages. I mean, there hasn't been a time where we've been in a competitive situation where Cam hasn't just popped up and done something, and it was creating turnovers early in training camp. He just was noticeable. I mean, you show up is a great way to say it. So yes, I mean the two of them are both doing a fine job. You know, again, I got to give credit to T. Rob. That's not easy to go out there and play with true freshmen with all the different formations, tempo, motion that you're getting now in college football. But those guys are they're mature beyond their years, and they're doing a great job of handling it. And the key is, can you improve? Are do you want to play well for a young guy, or do you want to improve and play well for a Miami Hurricane big time guy? And I think both those guys have those aspirations.
Well, staying in that part of the field, it was announced you're going to lose Bubba Bolden, looks like now, for the year. How will that impact your rotation at safety?
Yeah, it's a big loss. I mean, Bubba, is an outstanding safety. He's such a great verbal communicator, probably the best one we have in the back end in terms of seeing formations, understanding, checks, those type of things. So it's a big loss. So again, a lot more falls on, guys like James and Cam, and you've still got Gervin, Isaiah Dunston will play safety, and then we got Avante Williams feet wet on Saturday. So those 5 guys will be able to handle the job. We'll rotate the snaps as performance dictates during the week. But we're sad for Bubba, because Bubba gave a lot to this program and laid on the line, and just it was similar to the Gainer situation. Just couldn't function anymore, and you just felt bad for him being out there. It's a hard position to play when you've got basically one arm. But he's done a lot for our program, and we wish him best on the next level.
Manny, historically, this game, everything that's been talked about is always leadership. And I look at this season, and you lose De'Aaron King, which I believe changed his program as much as anybody the last couple of years, if you look at it. Then you're losing, he's a captain, then you lose Corey Gaynor, and then you lose Rivers, and now you lose the running back, you lose Cam Harris, and now you go over here and you lose another guy that was a leader. And you're just resetting leadership week after week, and that's got to be a huge challenge.
It's remarkable. It's been very unique to have Cam Harris is another one that was a leader that we lost. I don't know if I've ever seen a year like that, where not just so many injuries, but injuries to captains.
Right.
And I think one of the keys to our entire football team, and one of the keys to our performance on Saturday against NC State, was the emergence of Tyler Van Dyke, the leader. Because both sides of the ball, similar to what happened when Diaz came into our program, we just didn't have that guy that the whole locker room believed in. That's why Derek King changed Miami football. And I think Tyler last week finally began to accept that role. Very brave, because obviously he had a great second half performance in Chapel Hill, but to go out and say, I'm that guy, and I think this, and I think we can do this, and I think we can do that, he breathed confidence into our football team. And that's something that was in short supply for us over the first month of the season. And I think that picked everybody up. The way he backed it up, we mentioned the first third down throw. I think that got it all started. And I think we looked a different outfit because of Tyler's leadership.
Okay, we got Pittsburgh coming up on Saturday at 12 o'clock. We'll talk about the Panthers. Big game for the University of Miami as we continue on the Manny Diaz Show right after this.
Hey, it's the Good Greek Spiro, and we all know that the most important part of winning a championship is getting there. And when the Miami Hurricanes need to get their equipment to each game, they call Good Greek Moving and Storage. The Miami Hurricanes trust the Good Greek, and so should you. So move like a champ and go to goodgreek.com. Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of the Miami Hurricanes.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
The school bus.
The Zach wagon.
Wally.
No matter what you call your car or why you're letting it go, AutoNation will buy it, and you don't have to buy one from us. We're paying top dollar right now. So go to AutoNation.com or come see us for a super easy appraisal. Get paid on the spot, and you can deposit it the same day. Visit any AutoNation store or AutoNation.com. What drives you drives us.